ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here is the secret given about how one can completely come out of the anxieties of material existence. In the material world, everyone is in anxiety. Even a small bird sitting on the ground is full of anxiety, looking here and there what will happen. This is the nature of this world. Prabhupada gives an example. You are standing on ice and considering that it's a very good platform to stand on, but actually it is not. Anytime the ice will melt and your platform is gone. So standing on the ice and thinking you are free of anxiety is not possible. You have to stand on the land, then one can be free from that anxiety. Similarly, the real cause of anxiety in this material world, the real cause of fear in this material world, real cause of sorrow, distress in this material world is very nicely analyzed here by Lord Kapila. There is a very nice example which Prabhupada gives. Let us say there is one purse which is lying on the road having thousands of rupees in it. One person comes, he looks here and there, nobody is seeing. He picks up the purse, puts in his pocket, walks away. While picking up the purse, he is in anxiety, and then using the money, again he is in anxiety. Someone else comes, he thinks, what is this purse? It is not mine, why I should bother? It is lying on the street, let it be lying on the street. He leaves it, goes away. He looks like he has renounced the purse. And third person comes, he picks up the purse, finds out whose purse it is, and returns it back to that person. The person who picks up the purse to use for his own enjoyment, and the person who picks up the purse for giving it back to that person to whom it belongs, there is lot of difference. This person has no anxiety because he knows this is not mine. It is not meant for my enjoyment. It is somebody else's property. How can I think of enjoying it? Right. Similar thing happens in this material world. We come to this material world and we start claiming this is mine. This family is mine, this house is mine, this bank balance is mine. Before your birth, where was it? Was it yours? Now we have started claiming this is mine. After your death, will it be yours? It will not. Isn't it? Only in the middle period, we are claiming this is mine. And because it does not belong to us and we want to enjoy it, we are filled with so much anxiety. Because if a purse is lying, there are hundreds of people eyeing that purse. I want to enjoy, I want to enjoy. And that is the result we see in this material world. Everyone wants to exploit material nature. Everyone. People want to exploit, society wants to exploit, country wants to exploit to the best of the extent. And that is why there is strife, there are wars among people. Why? It is, that, bounty. Somebody has found one bounty and then there are thieves standing there. So everybody is trying to snatch, mine, I will enjoy, I will enjoy. Actually, it does not belong to them. This is what is exactly happening in this material world. Everyone is filled with anxiety. So here is the solution given, that if you want to be free from anxiety, you have to understand everything belongs to God. Instead of thinking everything I see, it is meant for my enjoyment. So then what will happen? Sometimes you will taste so-called sweet fruits, sometimes advantages, sometimes disadvantages. Example is given here, just like in a dream. In dreams, sometimes you become a king and you are very happy, I have a huge palace. Sometimes you become beggar, isn't it? Sometimes you find tiger is chasing behind you and you are afraid, you are sweating like anything. So these advantages and disadvantages which you are seeing in dream, both are illusion. Advantage is also illusion, disadvantage is also illusion. Neither you have become a king that you have to be very happy, neither you have become a beggar that you have to be disappointed. You just have to wake up from the dream and come to reality. Then you will be happy. So similarly, Lord Kapila is explaining that the living entities suffer in this material world because of claiming proprietorship, because of trying to enjoy others' property, and because of thinking, I am the best friend of others. I will help others. These three things are the causes of our entanglement in this material world. Philanthropist is thinking, I have wealth and I will distribute to others and help them. So the sense of proprietorship is there. And sense of, I am the doer, I am helping someone, this is there. In reality, actually, we are cheating others, and to the one whom we are giving help, he is also getting cheated. So Lord Kapila is saying, unless one understands real benefactor, real friend is Supreme Lord Krishna. He is the best well-wisher of everyone. Till that time, you are bound to be cheated. You see, in one of his purport, Prabhupada gives the very important aspect of best well-wisher, best friend, Suhridam, Sarva Bhutana, best well-wisher of all living entities, best friend of every. So, when we are claiming, I am the best friend, we are cheating people. Because we cannot know. We do not know what is beneficial for others, what we are going to benefit others. We have no understanding what will benefit other people. So we are not the best friends. Even worshipping the varieties of demigods, Devata, even they cannot be the best friend. Because Prabhupada says even this is called, that is also called cheating. Because they cannot deliver you the ultimate benefit. We give everything from our side, but they cannot benefit you in reality. They can only give you something temporary which will be of not much use. That is not the real help. So Krishna is the only benefactor. So Prabhupada says, one very important characteristic of a best friend is he will never cheat you. That is the best, one of the important characteristic of best friend. He will never cheat you. And then Prabhupada says, he will always give you his friendly advice. See, what is the meaning of best friend? He will give you the best of the friendly advice and friendly protection. These are the characteristics of best friend. Never cheat you, best of his friendly advice, best of his friendly protection he will give you. In fact, Prabhupada gives a very wonderful example that in Bengal, there are many instances where devotees accepted Krishna as their son. They did not have any son, and they accepted Krishna as their son. So, Prabhupada says that the Lord is so kind upon his devotees that even as a deity, the deity does not move. We don't find deities moving. Of course, there are reciprocations sometimes because of the devotee. The deity does move. Sakshi Gopal, isn't it? The Lord moved all the way from Vrindavan and came to Orissa in order to give witness for his devotee. See, the Lord told him also that, what are you saying? I am present in the form of a deity. Deity does not move. So he said, my dear Lord, if deity can talk, then deity can move also. So then the Lord agreed, okay, if you want me to come, I will come. So the Lord came. So Prabhupada explains, the Lord very kindly accepts. And even after the death of his devotee, the deities perform their funeral rites. Because the sons are supposed to perform the last rites. And because they had no one and they accepted the Supreme Lord as their son, the deities personally perform their funeral rites. So this is the meaning of Supreme Lord. Bhishma, he glorifies how the Supreme Lord is very kind. He says, Bhishma Dev, he was lying on the deathbed and he had an ardent desire to see the Supreme Lord present before him before he gives up his body. And actually, full battlefield of Kurukshetra, he only acted as enemy of Arjuna. So much so that he pierced Arjuna with arrows, even pierced Krishna with arrows. Took the side of Duryodhana. So he acted as enemy. Lord could have thought, what are you saying? I should be present to you. Whole life you acted as my enemy. And, my dear devotee Arjuna, you wanted to practically kill him. Isn't it? So, Bhishma is filled with so much devotion when the Supreme Lord came before his departure. So he says, he addressed Kripacharya, the commander-in-chief of his army at that time. My dear Kripacharya, just see the wonderful causeless mercy of Lord Krishna. I am most unfortunate. I have no qualification. I was opposing Krishna's most intimate friend Arjuna. I even tried to kill him. I have so many disqualifications. Yet the Lord is so kind. He has come to see me at the last point of my life. He is worshipable by all great sages. Still he is so merciful that he has come to see an abominable person like me. You see? So, this is what we can see is the Supreme Lord's causeless mercy upon his devotees. He never forsakes his devotee in any circumstances. Sometimes then we may wonder, the living entity can never be the best friend of the other living entity. So how do we say devotees are the best friend? They are also called as Suhrada. Right? One of the important qualities of devotee is that he is the well-wisher of all living entities. Actually, there is a lot of difference. Prabhupada explains this very nicely. How devotees are considered to be the best well-wisher. They don't try to replace Krishna as the best well-wisher of living entity. They introduce others to Krishna as the best friend. That is how they perform the most valuable service and they become very dear to the Lord. They are not replacing Krishna that I will give you something by which you will be benefited. They give them Krishna so that they will be benefited. Because he is the best friend. So they revive his connection with Krishna. And in that sense, the devotees are the best friend of living entities. So Prabhupada says this in one of his purport. They render a valuable service to humanity by giving knowledge of relationship between Supreme Lord and living entity. That relationship, the loving relationship which every living entity naturally has with Krishna, that they try to revive. And Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone who gives this most confidential knowledge that everyone should simply surrender unto me, sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyadi. This most confidential knowledge, if somebody is giving to others, he is most dear to me, very, very dear to me. So, they are giving the knowledge of relationship between Supreme Lord and the living entity. Such knowledge is the perfect benediction for humanity. That is the best benediction. So, once in Bhagavatam, there is a very nice incident where 4 Kumaras are preaching. And Prithu Maharaj is praising this friendly quality of preaching Krishna consciousness. So he is saying, how can such a person be repaid except by folded palms containing water for their satisfaction? He is saying that means no way we can repay such a person who is purely preaching Krishna consciousness. You cannot repay him. So he is giving the example, except with folded palms and little water you can offer them. That's all you can. Otherwise, there is nothing you can pay and think that I can repay them. Such a great person can be satisfied only by their own activities, which are distributed amongst human society out of their causeless mercy. Because there is no one else who can repay them and think that they will be satisfied by that. There is no possibility that anything can be given in return of what they have done. They have to be simply satisfied with their activity, which they carry out of their causeless mercy. So commenting on this, the word which Prithu Maharaj used was Vina Udapatram. Vina Udapatram. So there are 2 ways of pronouncing this. If you pronounce with Vicheda, it is called Vina Udapatram, and if you pronounce it as one word, it is called Vinodapatram. So Vina Udapatram, he says only with Udapatram means water. Udapatram, with your folded hand, you can just give them little, offer some water. Otherwise there is nothing that you can repay them. Another is Vinodapatram. So that means person who tries to think that I can repay the spiritual master, he becomes a Vinodapatram. He becomes a laughing stock. Or Vinodapatram is also called joker. So he's like a joker who becomes a laughing stock, because you cannot repay what spiritual master has given. Because it is not possible to repay such a debt. So, actually, the only friend, the best well-wisher of all living entities is the Supreme Lord. Today's verse is very nice. If you just go through it, I'll just read last portion of it. Very nicely Prabhupada explains about how Krishna is the best friend. We perform philanthropic work, thinking that we are the friends of human society. Someone may proclaim himself to be a very good national worker, best friend of people and of the country, but actually he cannot be the greatest friend of everyone. The only friend is Krishna. See, only friend is Krishna. One should try to raise the consciousness of the conditioned soul to the platform of understanding that Krishna is his actual friend. This is our duty, what we should try to do. How we can act as a friend of others. We should try to raise people to the platform of Krishna consciousness, where they will understand Krishna is my best friend. That is the best service we can do to them. So further Prabhupada is saying, if one makes friendship with Krishna, one will never be cheated and he will get all help needed. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Whatever is required, the Supreme Lord personally delivers to his devotees. So that is very essential. Arousing this consciousness of the conditioned soul is the greatest service. This is the greatest service you can do. In this way you can be the friend. Not posing oneself as a great friend of another living entity. The power of friendship is limited. See, this is another very important thing. Living entity is limited. We cannot satisfy everyone. It is not possible. We cannot fully reciprocate the feeling of another person. Imagine you have hundreds of friends and you want to reciprocate everyone's feeling. Is it possible? It is not possible. Isn't it? Because our friendship is limited. So, the power of friendship is limited. Although one claims to be a friend, he cannot be a friend unlimitedly. There are unlimited number of living entities and our resources are limited. Therefore, we cannot be of any real benefit to the people in general. Best service to the people in general is to awaken them to Krishna consciousness so that they may know that the supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, supreme friend is Krishna. And if we awaken people to this, if people understand Krishna is my best friend, then this illusory dream of lording it over this material nature, it will be vanished. So, we'll stop with this. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.